Alright, in this video I will be doing the thermal paste on this old Xbox One. This is the original version, it's not the 1S, it's not the 1X. And for this I'm using a flathead screwdriver, some, I don't know, eyeglass repair kit kind of thing, and I'm using Arctic Silver thermal paste to do this. There's a cross-bracing removal tool that I'm going to get when I do an Xbox One X in the very near future, but I didn't use it or have it for this video. And the real reason I'm doing this is to pull the hard drive out because I did get an Xbox One X for the kids. I'm going to sell this one. I don't want to sell it with a nearly $100 SSD in it, so I'm going to put the original drive back in. So to get this thing started, you're going to take the left side venti looking panel off first. It pops off pretty easily. The rest of this, not as easy. It is a bit of a monster to get into these first gen Xbox Ones, but I've done it, so I guess it's entirely doable. Once that side panel's off, there's this little angular piece of plastic that slides back and out. So you can use a flathead screwdriver or something, whatever, to get it going. And just put it off to the side. Now this separation right here is pretty difficult. I find pushing in on the top and pulling out on the bottom half of this sort of clamshell thing is the way to go, and then just slide your flathead along and it'll pop some clips. It's really tight. Xbox did a good job of making an extremely difficult to access case. So I find this is the better way to go, and just slide your screwdriver along. Use your one hand to make sure that it doesn't slam back together. It has a tendency to want to close itself back up, but eventually it should all come in right here. The whole thing kind of flies off. Yours might not do that. You might have to keep going around with the flathead screwdriver, but this one popped off pretty aggressively there once I got about 3/4 of the way around. Now there's a ribbon cable up front, so be careful with that. You do need to remove it. It is very difficult to film, and it's kind of difficult to remove. It slots into this little guy here, but that is the one thing when you're taking this top off. Don't just yank it because there is a ribbon cable. Now there's a whole bunch of screws to remove here to get access to the motherboard. There's two in that little, I think it's a Wi-Fi chip on the right side that I'm taking off right now. And then there's, I don't know, there's like 7 or 8 screws that go through the entire Xbox and hold everything together. And I'll just throw it into fast motion and remove all of them. And everything is pretty much a hex bit to get down into the Xbox One here. So you do need some small hex bit drives. And I had one that's stripped out. There was that one. I've been in this thing a couple of times. And to remove that one, I just used a flathead screwdriver. I also use it to put that one in. Now there is a cable that's still attached. So I'll pull it back out here, and that's like the connection cable for the little Wi-Fi card that's on the top. So be careful with that as well. And once we're here, you just unclip that cable. And there we go. Now we're into the top. So if you're only going to change the hard drive, you're pretty much done everything you need to do. There's the hard drive that I wanted to get out, 1 terabyte SSD, and I'm going to put the HDD back in. But obviously I'm going to go all the way through here, and I was trying to avoid taking everything out, but what I found was that you just need to take everything apart to get this heat sink off the CPU. Anyway, disconnect the power to the fan. You're going to need to pull the entire tray out of the bottom. So it's sitting in the bottom half, the little plastic tray. You don't need to take anything off. The screws that go through the entire Xbox screw down into the bottom of the tray there, so that's already done. And there's 4 little screws in the back here that are in an X pattern, and they're the ones that are sort of holding the CPU down. There's a little cross brace inside holding the CPU down as well, but these are the ones that go through the bottom of the case and into the back side of the CPU cross bracing, I guess it's called. So we'll get those out of there. Remove the disk drive, disconnect the power cable and the data cable. And like I said, I was trying to just do one thing at a time and take it slow here. But like I said, what I found was you just need to take everything apart. So you might as well just commit to that. On the bottom, there's also 4 silver screws on the sides. So 2 and 2 of the corners, so remove those. And this little card thing up front, I removed that as well because it's connected through that aluminum or tin pan or whatever it is and into the motherboard. So that has to get taken off as well. And then once that's off, you can actually pull the entire motherboard out. So big pile of screws. There, I don't even know. There's so many of them. It's crazy. And then we're right down to this cross bracing. Now there's a tool for this. I'm going to put a link in the description to the tool. And the other thing that I don't pay attention to is the orientation of this thing. I don't think it matters. I don't put it back in that orientation, and I don't have any problems, but I would look at that orientation. So you can see there's two like plastic pieces that are in the center of it, and then there's like a longer oval and a circle. I would just look at those four things when you take yours apart and make sure that you line them back up the same way. For removing this thing, I use a flathead, I pry it out. I don't know. It's probably not the way to do it. Like I said, I'm going to get a tool for this when I do it on the Xbox One X, and I'll put a link in the description for that tool. At this point, you can flip the motherboard back over and remove the heatsink, and there's everything that had to come off this thing to get down into the heatsink. And what I'm going to use to clean it up with is isopropyl alcohol and Q-tips. So pretty straightforward. Put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on the Q-tip, rub it around, rinse and repeat, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the CPU as well. Now overall, the thermal paste on this thing was very crispy and crunchy. I do off camera take this downstairs, both the motherboard and the heatsink, and use some compressed air out of my air compressor and just blow everything out when I'm done. Like I said, I did it off camera, so you didn't see that, but I did do it, and that's what it looks like. So the copper is pretty stained at this point, and there's thermal paste all over my tablecloth. So if you put a pot on my table, it will transfer the heat well into the wooden tables through the tablecloth at this point. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the CPU. And what I noticed is there's actually a big, almost like a moat around the CPU where the thermal paste sort of gets trapped inside. I don't know if there's an intent by Xbox to fill up that little moat with, but the end result is that it is pretty filled up with thermal paste, which is okay. So I do need to dig it out of there, but overall pretty easy to do, even though the thermal paste has gone extremely crispy. And this is pretty much the end result. Pretty clean. I didn't go crazy cleaning this thing up and get every bit of thermal paste out of every nook and cranny, but I think I did a pretty reasonable job getting it ready for the new thermal paste. Now for the thermal paste, because it's not a square, I'm going to go with 2 lines. And I do try this out first, so I'm going to put the heatsink on so you'll see the result of doing these 2 small lines. And I think this absolutely knocks it out of the park for the shape of this CPU. And the only thing I do differently when I go for my real coating on this thing is I go a little bit heavier on those 2 lines. So you can see perfectly covered the CPU and got pretty good coverage on the heatsink as well. So I think that's about right. And I'm going to clean that up again with the Q-tip. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, only I'm going to go a little bit heavier on the thermal paste this time. So same concept, 2 lines, slightly heavier on the thermal paste, but not crazy. So like I said, there is that moat around the CPU. So even if you overfill this a little bit, it's probably just going to go into the boundary of the CPU and it's going to be fine anyway. Now I'm going to put in this cross bracing thing. You can see in the middle of that X, there's no chips, and that's because there's a little piece of plastic on this cross bracing. And like I said, I think that's actually the proper orientation right there. And then I turn it, but I don't, like I said, I don't know if it matters. There is a little piece of plastic on the bottom of this thing, but it sits right where there's a gap in all of the chips on the motherboard. So I don't know. I don't have any issues putting it in a different orientation, but I would suggest doing it the right way. And to put this in, I just push down on it and it clips into place, and then I just make sure that everything's locked in. So I don't know. I don't really like that cross bracing thing, but I guess it's what they use. And I'm sure they're using it because it's cheap and easy and they have it available. So now I'm going to take the plug-in for the fan, put that power connector onto the motherboard, and then I'm going to drop the motherboard back into the bottom tray of the Xbox One housing. And then just line up all those inputs and outputs, and that's pretty much it. Now I'll throw everything in a lot faster motion on the rebuild here. There's the chip up front, like I said, that passes through the metal tray for the bottom of your Xbox, and then there's 3 screws that secure that to the metal tray. So I'll just throw those in. And then on the back side, again, there's 4 of these silver screws that pass from the bottom of the tray into the motherboard and secure the motherboard to the, I don't know what it is, tin, aluminum, whatever, the metal pan. Put those in. I suppose the order doesn't matter that much. There's still 4 screws for this cross bracing thing. I take the car tire approach and go in a crisscross fashion as opposed to going counterclockwise or clockwise around this thing. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. That's what I did and it worked out for me. Now I didn't show these when I disassembled it, but there's plastic pieces those long screws pass through. These 2 black ones actually just get clipped into place, so I'll just put those back. And then there's a white version as well, and for whatever reason, the white one gets screwed into place. So there's little holes in the motherboard where the feet sit, and then there's a little screw that just screws that white one in. Like I said, the black plastic ones just clip into place. Why they're different, no idea. The disk drive has a foamy front on it, I'm assuming for like anti-vibration. That needs to get slotted into the bottom pan of the motherboard tray. And then on the back side, there's 2 little feet, and those also have little cutouts in the motherboard for those to pass into. Overall, this is a pretty well engineered piece of computer hardware. It's just a pain in the butt to work on. Now I'll connect the data transfer cable from the disk drive, and then I'll connect the power as well. Both are very obvious and very easy to do. Now this is a bit of a supplementary step here. Like I said, I'm changing the hard drive. That's the whole reason for me tearing this thing down, is so I can sell it. But I do want my SSD back because the SSD will definitely be more than the value of the Xbox, unfortunately. So I'll take the original 500 gigabyte one and I'll put it back in. And to get into this thing, there's just 4 screws that hold it to the hard piece of plastic. There's another 4 screws that hold it to the little base plate table, and that's it. I would advise putting the power/data transfer cable into the hard drive before you screw it down. I didn't do that, but that would be another recommendation I would have. So anyway, once it's screwed in and the power and data transfer connection cable are in place, it just sits into the motherboard. Again, there's little cutouts for the feet, and then connect the power and connect the, I guess it's a SATA cable. It's just a sort of a weird SATA cable. Connect that to the motherboard as well. And then really we're almost done here. I'm gonna connect that one cable that's on the top of the case, put the top on, and I'll put the whole thing back into the bottom plastic of the Xbox One. And then once that's done, there's just a whole ton of screws that are gonna pass through the top of the Xbox into the bottom, and obviously through the motherboard. So I'll just do all of those, and I'll do a whole bunch of them off camera because it's kind of boring to watch. And then I'll put this little Wi-Fi card, assuming it is a Wi-Fi card, back in, and it has 2 screws as well. And that is pretty much it for all of the screws. I think the one plastic black thing with the red and black wire on it is actually like a little speaker that makes the beeping noise, but I'm not sure. That is my assessment of what it is. Now to connect this ribbon cable, it's easier if you take the front piece off as well. So there's a whole bunch of clips that secures the front piece to the top of this thing. I would suggest separating those 2 pieces. You don't have to, but it's gonna make it so much easier to connect that ribbon cable. And the ribbon cable goes into there. It's very hard to film because it's so tight, but if you try and do it all together, it's very difficult. So like I said, just take this front panel off. There's just 800,000 clips that hold it to the top, and then you should be able to reach your fingers in there much more easily and connect it. So just push the cable in, and then there's a loop that kind of goes around that white connector. When you disassemble it, it'll all make sense. So now I'll clip the top on, and to clip the whole top piece back on, start at the bottom front, snap that in, and then do the back side. So bottom front clips in first, and then lower the back side down, and just make sure everything's tight. And like I said, this thing aggressively clips back into place. So it's pretty easy. There's that one little side piece that's an angular piece of plastic. That goes in no problem. And then this little vented side piece goes in super easily as well. It's probably the easiest piece to take on and off is that one side piece. And that's it. It's just that easy to redo the thermal paste on your Xbox. Now, because I switched hard drives, I gotta go do some extra steps here. I'm gonna do an offline system update. So go down to the troubleshooter, stick in the offline update, which I've already downloaded onto my USB stick, and then do that. So the Xbox is going to do stuff for about an hour. Just walk away, drink your coffee, and I'll just go into settings here. Now that it's all done, you can see 500 gigs, but obviously it uses about 140 for the operating system or whatever. And then I'll just throw in a video game that the kids are using. I don't know, some sort of sniper thing, and I'll film myself doing that. Boom, that's a kill. And overall, like I said, it's not that hard. It's just very time consuming. That's a kill. Actually, that was a wound, and they're going to get this guy with the RPG. Boom, headshot. So you can do this yourself. I'm not a computer expert or anything like that. It is a pain. I would get that cross bracing tool. That's a kill right there. That's a wound. That's a kill. So don't be intimidated. If you want to do this, do this. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.